Hey Carpenter One, this is Mr. Allen. It's almost spring break, but some of you are not quite caught up, so I wanted to give you one more little video to look at over spring break to help you. I've got a couple of you who've done assignments on window and door sizes, and I know that's confusing, so I want to try and teach it to you. And if you've already done that, just turn it in again. And very few of you have done the estimating stuff from my last video, so I encourage you to look at how to estimate floor materials and get that turned in over your spring break. There won't be any new work next week, so it's time to catch up. So what I want to go over with you is these laying out window and door openings. It's pretty confusing. One reason is the book teaches it in a strange order, and if I'd have been in class, I would have taught it different. So as you look at this video, look on page 8 of module 6. And where it says laying out window and door openings, that is where they teach you what a window and door code is. And that's where I start. They do it out of order. You should know now that a header goes across a window opening, and a king stud is outside the header. A trimmer stud holds up the header. Top plates, bottom plates. You should know these parts of a wall if you've been doing this work. So what we're now going to talk about is how do we determine this rough opening or this size? And here's how we start. This on page 8 is window and door codes. Here is a code for a window that I would have taught you had we had this in class. And the first thing you do is decode that code. And it's very, very simple. If you see this code for a window, all that means is the window is 2 foot 8 inches wide and 3 foot 2 inches tall. And you get that right. Any window code you see written like this is feet, inches, width first, height second. Most doors are something 6'8" because the height of all doors is 6 foot 8 inches. But when you see these problems on your things, decode this code. All it's asking you to do is this, okay? The next step is on page 9 where it talks about figuring a rough opening. And that's a little harder. What that means is, how big is this hole in the wall, okay? So your book explains to you, if you'll read that, how to figure rough opening, and we'll call it RO, okay? So we're going to continue with this 2832 because first you have to decode the window size before you can get a rough opening. So now I'll take this decoded window size and put it in inches, get it out of feet and inches. So that's 24 inches plus 8 inches. What is that, 32? Is that 32 inches? 32 inches wide, and this is 3 foot 2 inches, so that's 38 inches wide.
Tall.
Yeah, tall. Excuse me. Thank you for my wife helping me. Tall or height. So what we'll now do is take these and get a rough opening, and if you'll read in your book, it says the rough opening equals the window plus the thickness of the jamb material plus the shim clearance. And you can read all that in the book right there on page 9. It says 3/4 on each side plus a half on each side. But what my kids normally remember is you're adding 2.5 inches. And if you'll read that, you'll understand where that 2.5 inches comes from. So the rough opening for a 2832 is 34.5 wide and 40.5 tall. Okay, so you have now decoded a 2832 and determined a rough opening. Now the book teaches this backwards. If you'll flip back in your book now, I don't know why they teach this first, but if you will flip back to page 3 in this unit, it talks about how to determine the length of a header. And it tells you to find the length of a header, take the rough opening, and add 3 inches because you have a trimmer stud 1.5 inches on this side and a trimmer stud 1.5 inches on that side. Remember I taught you a 2x4 is 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. You have to remember that now. Well, they haven't told you how to do the rough opening. I don't know why they taught it that way, but now you've learned it the right way. 2832, rough opening, 34.5 by 40.5. A header is only the width. So we're going to come down here to find the header. Come down here and find the width. Our rough opening width is 34.5. That means this hole is 34.5. And we have to make that header long enough to have a trimmer stud on each side. So we will add 3 inches. So that header is 37.5 inches long. So we have now gone through all these steps. a 2832 window, 2 foot 8 inches wide, 3 foot 2 inches tall. The rough opening, add 2.5 inches. So a 2832 window, the rough opening is 34.5 plus 40 by 40.5 tall. The header, we have the rough opening for a 2832 is 34.5. We add 3 inches. The header for a 2832, the header is 37.5. So if you've already done this work and I made some comments and you're a little confused, go back and redo it. I'm going to regrade it for you. If you haven't done it, I hope this video helps you. I'll be sending this out. Please remember to look at the other video about how to do floor materials, because only 2 or 3 of you have done that, and you need to get that done over spring break. Get caught up on this work. There will be no new work. Have a good spring break.